definitely giving me like, you know, that one church that we shall not name. You can make money off of that, but why would you want to? Is it painful? Does it hurt? Ugh, the questions I have. Oh, Frenchie. Oh, my heart. Look at his face. Hey guys, and we are back with another chit chat, and we are going to be looking at The Boys season 2, episodes 1 through 3, the breakdown. And I'm going to leave the link in the description box so you can watch the full video. Check out the channel, it's actually really good. I love doing these videos because I watch a lot of TV and I don't get to do my initial reactions, which I do want to do down the line, but let's jump right in. Spoilers ahead. Don't forget.
Chug some breast milk or down a Fresca because it's time to throw your son off the roof. After more than a year, The Boys Season 2 is finally here, and it feels like I've been waiting longer than the deep in Sandusky, Ohio.
You're so alone.
In this video, we'll be going over the first 3 episodes, some cool shit you might have missed, and theories on what's to come. Before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe, as I'll be covering every episode this season. But first, F's in the chat for Lucy.
Oh,
this opening scene is low-key hilarious, with an assistant trying to figure out who ordered the baby kale salad as executives from Vought Industries go over the contract that will undoubtedly result in the deaths of thousands, if not millions, of people. If you remember from season 1, Vought was involved in a secretive plan to distribute Compound V to terrorists in order to garner lucrative defense deals with the US government. And here we see Black Noir decapitate a super terrorist whose power is, hold on, let me check my notes, exploding himself. As it seems these contracts are underway. Translucent finally gets a funeral. Love the open casket, which is a fun nod to him being invisible, even though in season 1 he was exploded to smithereens. There's this great juxtaposition between Starlight living this celebrity dream life while Huey lives in an absolute dump. Both of them are in their own kind of prison. Huey will later team up with Starlight, who he had a romantic connection with in season 1. Look, they even touch knees. They both want to bring down Vought, so Huey devises a plan that if they can just get access to some Compound V, they can prove to the world that heroes are not born, they're made. Not only that, but most of these heroes were given Compound V without their consent.
Half our own heroes don't know they have Compound V in their veins.
This is best seen through the Deep, who is filled with rage when he finds out his childhood of hearing fish scream and developing gills, which made him a laughingstock, was a result of this compound and not some freak genetic defect. He'll eventually team up with another hero named Eagle the Archer and a woman named Carol from the Church of the Collective. Not much is known about this church, but the fact Eagle and Carol want him to overcome his demons so he can be a member of the Seven again.
Okay, this is definitely giving me like, you know, that one church that we shall not name vibes. And I'm just saying, like, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I'm just gonna put it out there. I just don't trust it.
That they have some more nefarious plan. The power of having one of their members in the Seven would likely be a huge boon for the church. I definitely think something fishy is going on here. God, these puns are terrible. We also learn of the church's leader, Alistair Adana. We haven't seen him yet, but he'll play a bigger role in future episodes, portrayed by Croatian actor Goran Visnjic. The Seven are looking for a new member. Sorry, no disabled people allowed. In episode 1, we'll be introduced to Stormfront, who looks like she'll be a new adversary for Homelander as she begins to take the limelight away from him. As we'll witness in episode 3, she's not to be fucked with. Meanwhile, Starlight blackmails a former Capes for Christ friend who has the ability to regrow parts of his body.
For an extra grand, I'll let you chop off my dick.
This is Gecko, named after the lizard who can regrow its appendages. He works as a...
Okay, but my issue with that is, what did they call it? I think they called it like BDSM or something. During that episode when he encounters this guy at the motel and lets him like chop off a limb. So I don't think that's exactly in the community. You know, I mean, I've never read the community guidelines, but I definitely don't think that is part of it. So is that more of like a murder fantasy? I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to give it a name, a proper name, because it's not what they said it was. BDSM or I don't remember, but yes, I'm just like, what is happening? And Austin was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, luckily you can grow it back. Like, yeah, you can make money off of that, but why would you want to? Is it painful? Does it hurt? Ugh, the questions I have, especially during this one.
Brat for Vought, giving him the ability to access Compound V, which he eventually gives to Starlight. But A-Train finds out about this. In last season's finale, A-Train overdosed on Compound V and was saved by Starlight, even though he found out that Starlight was working with Huey to bring down Vought. As we'll see in the first 3 episodes, A-Train still suffers from the after effects of his addiction, clutching his heart after being at the club all night and again inside the tunnels. Frenchie and the boys have been shacking up with a group of drug dealers, but unbeknownst to them, these dealers have also been engaging in some good old-fashioned human trafficking. Shit gets out of hand when one of the passengers flips over this boat, which Kimiko realizes is her brother Kenji. As children, Kimiko and Kenji lost their parents and were kidnapped by the Shining Light Liberation Army, a group designated as a terrorist organization. From that day, Kimiko lost her ability to speak, and thus her and her brother created their own version of sign language, something Frenchie later asks to learn. That might come into play for future episodes and spark a greater love.
Oh, Frenchie. Oh, my heart. Look at his face. Look at his beautiful face. Oh, he needs to be protected. Frenchie needs to be protected. He's like my little Cinnabon. So, okay. I mean, Kimiko could rip some ish, but I mean, she can protect him, Like, look at that face. Okay.
Between the two. Kenji, like Kimiko, was infused with Compound V, giving him the power to move objects with his hands. When Kimiko finds out that Kenji has been brainwashed by the Shining Light, she realizes she'll have to turn him into the boys before he does any further damage. Meanwhile, the boys enlist the help of CIA Deputy Director Susan Rayner, hoping to make a deal for their safety in return to bringing in Kenji. But the meeting doesn't go to plan when her head spontaneously explodes. Now, you might think that it's Kenji who did this, but I don't think it is. For one, we haven't seen him explode people like that, and 2, you'd think if he saw his long-lost sister there, his first priority would be to see her and not explode some random's head. In the Season 2 trailer, there's a quick shot of this soup exploding some people. We don't know who she is yet, but she's likely our culprit. We also get a creepy history lesson from Vought President Stan Edgar, who tells us that Vought's founder, Frederick Vought, was the chief physician at the Dachau concentration camp during World War II. It's there he developed Compound V by experimenting on Jews, only later to be pardoned by Roosevelt after aiding the American military. The boys also see the return of Billy Butcher, who we last saw in the finale, finding out his wife is still alive and conceived a child with Homelander. Bonus.
So what I like about these is that they will tell you details that you completely missed. Oh, and that's in the theories and details you missed. Okay. Well, I mean, I watch the show very attentively, but sometimes, in between my bathroom breaks or popcorn making, you might have missed something. So, just
if you figured out the actor who plays Homelander's son in Season 1 is completely different than the one in Season 2.
Yeah.
He wakes up 3
I didn't
hours
even
after
see
these
that.
events outside a Tony Cicero's in Fort Worth, Indiana, where he quickly writes down as much as he possibly knows about the location of his wife, like the yellow roof, temperature, and large pine trees. Homelander wants to turn his son into a spitting image of him. He's disappointed at his shitty ball throwing and that his mother is turning him into a, quote, pussy. We do know his son has powers. We saw his eyes turn red at the end of Season 1. Homelander even throws him off the roof in an effort to make him fly, which I guess is the superhero equivalent of throwing your child in the pool to see if they can swim. He wants his son Ryan to have a good childhood raised by a mother and father, since Homelander himself grew up in a lab with no one to love him. But as we'll later find out, Ryan is in his own kind of Truman Show, housed within a compound, never having gone beyond its borders. Maeve's arc these first 3 episodes is fairly subdued, picking up on her relationship with Elena and concerned that Homelander, if he finds out about it, will kill her. Expect this to play a bigger role in episodes to come, as Elena's death will likely result in Maeve switching allegiances should anything happen to her. With the CIA deputy director killed, Butcher goes to an old friend Grace for her help in coordinating a deal with the feds. If they can catch the terrorist Soup, Billy can get his wife back and the boys' names can be cleared. But as they're making their way to the CIA safe house, the Deep tries to stop them in an attempt to get back into the Seven, even commandeering a giant...
The Deep is just like...
Deep tries to stop them in an attempt to get back into the Seven, even commandeering a giant whale named Lucy to block their path. Also, just a big shout out to Patton Oswalt, who voiced his gills. With the Seven hot on their tails, the boys venture into the tunnels where Homelander forces Starlight to kill Hugh. This was the tensest scene of the first 3 episodes, and I gotta say, I didn't see the Kenji save where he buries Homelander under a shit ton of rubble. This also allows Kenji to escape, who is pursued by Stormfront, who we get to see use her incredible powers and total disregard for civilians. Of course, Vought uses this opportunity to paint themselves as the heroes, even though word about Compound V was just made public. Something Stan Edgar is trying to clear up.
Okay, so I don't know, but my hatred for Stormfront is just deep-seated, and I can't. I don't like her. She had complete disregard for people. Like, she physically went out of her way to kill people. And for some reason, I don't like her. And, well, I mean, not for some reason, but for some reason, I don't like her even more than Homelander. So my hatred for her is way deeper.
Saying that it was a rogue group of scientists under the command of now dead Madeline Stillwell who were responsible for this. The final episode ends with Homelander pissed at Stormfront's announcement as a new member of the Seven, something he had no choice in. And if there's one thing we've learned, you never want to piss off Homelander.
Okay, so I am so excited because this channel has a lot on the boys, and I definitely want to do more on this channel about shows, movies, TVs, all of that. And of course, The Boys is my absolute favorite right now, along with Good Girls. So I definitely want to do some reaction and chit chats with Good Girls. But thoughts on this one is, I absolutely need Stormfront to be killed. Like, that's priority number 1. Like, yes, things are happening, but I don't know. It's just gonna feel so satisfying if but she might not be able to, she might not be killable, now that I think about it. So, she might be actually immortal. So, we shall see how that goes. But, guys, if you have not seen this show, like, check it out. Especially if you're into that alternate universe type of show. This is definitely for you. And it's not for everyone. I will admit that. It's not for everyone. I'm used to watching gore and blood, so it doesn't affect me at all. There's some times where you're just like, ooh, that was rough. But, you know, it just depends on your level of, you know, just gauge that yourself, because I can't really tell you. But if you're a horror fan, this is going to be a piece of cake for you, you know? A walk in the park. And I am a horror fan, so, you know, I'm so excited. And Homelander is actually super scary. He's so neurotic that you never know what's gonna happen. I don't know if he's gonna kill someone just out of nowhere. You just don't know. He's just all over the place, so couldn't tell you. Okay, but I definitely want to check out this next episode, the breakdown. So we'll get to that. But yeah, the church is super sketchy to me. And the fact that they chose, oh wait, spoilers, obviously. I need to put that in the beginning of the spoilers. Okay, I can't talk right now. So I'm gonna go on to the next video. But spoilers ahead. Don't forget. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. If you would like to be a part of our family, connect with us on social media. Link is in the description box. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, pollitos.